Let's head right into what you need to know this morning. And one thing we need to know is, can Jimmy Garoppolo play quarterback at a high level in the National Football League? He's been injured a lot. We haven't seen much of him. And this offseason, he suffered that ACL tear week 3 of the 2018 season against the Chiefs when he was running out of bounds, should have run out of bounds, decided to cut back inside and deliver a blow to a defender and blew out his ACL. He hasn't done much in the offseason program. They don't know when he's going to be fully back to 100%. And from his perspective, he just isn't going to know how healthy he is until it's time to get out there and participate. And even in training camp, he's not going to know because they're not going to be able to hit him. It's not going to be full speed or as full speed as it is for a quarterback in a regular game circumstance. So I think everybody's going to be holding their breath as to whether or not he is going to be fully healthy from the ACL tear. And Big Cat, the other side of the coin, is he a guy who can stay healthy in any respect? Because what we've seen from Jimmy Garoppolo more often than not is he can't stay healthy. And a key element for any quarterback is the ability to stay healthy.
This one's fascinating to me because Kyle Shanahan, I think most people would put him up there with one of the best offensive minds in football. So you just assume Kyle Shanahan, whatever he has at quarterback, he can make good, right? Like Nick Mullins last year had some nice starts. People were talking, oh, this guy looks okay out there. I just don't understand what, Jimmy Garoppolo is at 100%, let alone maybe 75% coming back from an ACL tear. That's the part that is completely fascinating to me because you don't know what Jimmy Garoppolo is, period. I'm talking healthy, injured, whatever it may be. The sample size just isn't out there. People talk about his finish to the season in 2017 when the 49ers went 5-0. They beat a really bad Bears team. They beat a bad Titans team or a bad Texans team. They beat a couple teams that weren't trying at the end of the stretch. And Jimmy Garoppolo was 7 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. So not exactly lighting the world on fire. So everyone just assumes Jimmy Garoppolo, he played with Brady. He got this big contract. He's good looking. He's the guy. What is Jimmy Garoppolo 100%, let alone 75%? I'm not saying he's not good. I'm saying I just do not know. So to judge what he might be when the bullets are live, so to speak, that could be anything.
And look, here's the reality, and we've mentioned this a few times. 49ers fans lose their minds, and I don't know why, because they should be as skeptical as anyone else about the money they've given to this guy. They can escape the contract pretty easily after this year if they just choose to say, okay, we've seen enough. Either he can't stay healthy, or when he is healthy, he isn't good enough. But instead of throwing good money after bad, we're just moving on. Now, they will have paid him a lot of money for 2 years, but from a cap standpoint, they can get out of this for a very, very minimal relative to the salary cap currently consequence and just go find somebody else. And I don't think Kyle Shanahan would hesitate to go find somebody else. And the thing that really, if you really want to get 49ers fans triggered, Big Cat, mention the possibility of the 49ers trading for Kirk Cousins if the Vikings decide to move on from him after this year, because that's Shanahan's guy. That's the guy he thought he was getting before they did the Jimmy Garoppolo trade.
That's interesting. I mean, that would, if I were a 49er fan, I would get very upset for even the mention of that. So you are right. Like, I'm putting myself in the minds of 49ers fans and saying the name Kirk Cousins, no thank you. I just find it so interesting to see Jimmy Garoppolo and the way he's talked about. And, of course, he played behind Brady, and he came in the year when Brady had his suspension and played well but also got injured. It's just, who is this guy? We have no idea. And anyone who's going to tell you definitively, I think Jimmy Garoppolo is a top 10 starter, top 15 starter, you have no idea because he hasn't played meaningful games late in the season, and we have not seen what that looks like.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. We've seen flashes, and they've mainly come when the 49ers were irrelevant. It created that false hope. It ultimately ended up being false hope for the 2018 season. But there's a lot of pressure on him this year because the pressure is increasing on Kyle Shanahan and on GM John Lynch. So before they get thrown overboard, they may decide that Garoppolo is the guy who needs to go. And it all comes down to what he can do this year. And it starts with getting healthy and staying healthy.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.